Omori Moriko reporting for duty. Episode 20. Last one of my session, if I get to where I want to. Yoko Moriko of the Scions. My thanks for coming, friend. We're stronger for your assistance. Allow me to brief you on our mission. Our objective is to capture Amalja and prize from them the whereabouts of the abductees. The Lizardmen aren't aware that their man, Ungust, has been exposed. When they come to the rendezvous point to meet the traitor, we'll spring the trap. Owing to the clandestine nature of the mission, we can deploy only a small contingent. Every member must count, and so we requested the aid of the Scions. The rendezvous will take place at the Invisible City. Please make your way there and lie in wait. We stand to learn much and more of the Amalja plot if the mission succeeds, Komori. Let's make sure it does. I thought the quests would take us to the Invisible City. I didn't realize it'd be so soon. There's Rose Dreams again. Not as a slight to Rose Dreams or anything, but if we didn't get this brand new gear, we would probably look like them right around now. Those cloaks that they start you out with there, they're not the most fashionable. Those dungeons aren't far from here. We could turn in those quests and just do the dungeons themselves later. I'll save it for another time. Probably when we have a mount. Looks like we have an instance. Is the bait in place? Our man is in position, sir. Good. We make our move as soon as the Amalja appear. Yes, sir. Oh. What is the meaning of this? Wait, something's amiss. Heh. I'm afraid your little ambush ends here. I eluded the immortal flame's clutches for moons before finally being caught. Did you not wonder how I managed it? 'Twas almost as if someone was feeding him information from the inside. Your every movement was known to me ahead of time. Now, as much as I'd love to chat a while, I have appointments to keep. They're all yours. I'm not sure how to pick our targets. Probably just the first person in front of us. Someone say something? I think we're fine to ignore. Sending more, huh? Even more. Should I be focusing on the big one or not? There truly is no end to them. Put up your weapon, or your comrade's a dead man. Behind you. Sleep. We know that spell. Bring her. The rest of you march. Traitorous scum. Listen well. These waters feed into the marshes of Drybone. A short swim will see us to freedom. However, if all of us attempt to flee, we are like to be discovered. You alone must sneak out and assemble a rescue party. Once you have won free, seek out our comrade stationed at Drybone. He will show you the way back here. May the 12 speed your way. Now it's interesting that they give you this. This is part of the, what I call, compliance of Final Fantasy XIV, where they can't lock you into an area and prevent you from doing whatever else you do in the world. whether that's adventuring with friends or taking part in some fates or something like that. They have to give you a story reason that you can get away from confinement. I think it's a good enough reason, even if it's a little bit flimsy on how these Amalja keep their prisoners. The lizards claim they will soon bring us before Ifrit for tempering. All of us are as good as dead. That would be the entrance for what we're about to do, which we'll get to soon enough. They're going to kill us, aren't they? Gods, I don't want to die. I want to go home. The lizard men marched us to their stronghold. They're preparing for something, and I, for one, do not want to be around when they finish. I fear the Amalja mean to give us to their god as an offering. If I must die, then let me die a soldier's death, with steel in hand. The Bowl of Embers. Now when they say assemble a rescue party, they do of course mean a 4-man party to take on this trial. NPCs are something that was added in later, but interesting. A Rogadin, an Elizin, and a Lalafell. If I'm recalling correctly, I think these 3 are the same 3 that could have been our NPC companions in the first dungeons. But they were called something different back then. Now they're called Scions. I guess we're taken to believe that they are also new Scions that have joined their ranks. A fun little bit of side storytelling, even if imaginary for the most part. This is something that may be best done with a group of live, actual human players, considering it's the first trial in the game, but after several revisions to this, I think this trial changed from 8 people to 4 people, or maybe it was always 4 people, and the harder versions that you encounter would have been the actual, true versions of the trial. To be honest, I don't feel like recruiting anybody to play the level 20 version of this trial, considering how simplified it would be. It would only probably bore them, and on top of that, any player that would join into this would probably cut down the playtime in half by speeding through it, DPSing it down quickly. I think I'll take on with the NPC party, just so we can see as many mechanics as we can, assuming the NPCs will slow down DPS for us to see it. That, and we have the benefit of no wait time. Oh, my portrait. Lord of the Inferno, hearken to our plea. Lord of the Inferno, deliver us from our misery. O mighty Ifrit, Lord of the Inferno, your humble servants beseech you, grace us with your divine presence. O mighty Ifrit, we bring before you ignorant savages who know not your godhead. If it please you, Lord, scorch their heathen souls with your cleansing flame, and mark it as your own. But bloody hells, Bring those two as well. What's going on? This isn't what we agreed. None but servants of Lord Ifrit may behold the rite of summoning. The souls of unbelievers are forfeit. No, spare me, I beg you. Pitiful children of man, by my breath I claim you. Arise once more as my loyal minions. Feed my flames with your face, and all who stand against us shall burn. O mighty Ifrit, my one true God, your words are my bread. Impossible. By what sorcery do you resist my master's will? We're built different. Could it be? Your soul already belongs to another? Yes, that is the only explanation. Forsooth, thy frail mortal frame can serve as vessel to the blessing of but one. Yet I smell not the taint of another upon thee. The truth of thine allegiance waxes clear. Thou art of the godless blessed number. The paragons warned of thine abhorrent kind. Thine existence is not to be suffered. Guess we're fighting fire with fire. Perhaps it goes without saying, but focusing on this thing is pretty necessary to survive. Well, maybe not at this level. KOing means he died. I'll have to see what I did wrong in the footage there, but probably just not fast enough DPS. That's something that the human players wouldn't have let slide even if I was slipping on it. Hopefully we started DPS a little bit sooner this time. My gear could also be a little bit lower than what it should be. Did we not do it again? We got it. Thank goodness. There were even less mechanics in that than I thought. And we ended up dying to one of them. Still, I think a worthy introduction for any new players to the concept of fighting a boss. Although, you fight bosses in dungeons, trials are a little bit of a different breed. Pray forgive my lateness. I was delayed by a congregation of Amalja zealots, I swear. Each seemed more evangelical than the last. Persistent lot. Teach me how to do that. I see the Bloodsworn wasted no time in extracting the captives. No less than I'd expect from the Flame General's handpicked men. As for those two, it is fair to say their hardships have only just begun. They have much to answer for. I feel I owe you an apology, Komori. Had I known this mission would prove so dangerous, I would never have left you to face it alone. You have been given a veritable baptism of fire. But let us continue this conversation in more agreeable surrounds. Camp Drybone, shall we say. This way, sir. So that was the mighty Ifrit. And what a disappointment he was. The readings are nowhere near what I had anticipated, even taking Uldan interference into account. You should know better than to rely upon 5-year-old data left by the 7th Legion. Nor can we expect any form of support from the motherland, given the troubles at court. We have only ourselves to rely upon. Ever the pessimist, my dear Livia. Promise me you'll never change. We've wasted enough time here. That meter of yours is too old to give any reading worth a damn. Not that there was aught worth a damn for it to read. But I take your point. I suppose we must content ourselves with the knowledge that we've achieved our primary objective. Yet I find that I am troubled by that adventurer's unexpected show of strength. Could such a foe prove a hindrance to our plans? Perhaps, but that is a consideration for another time. You have been given a task. That is your priority. I suggest you treat it as such. Fail to do as my lord commands, and I will spare him the trouble of punishing you. With allies like that, beware a woman in love. I shall need to be on my best behavior. No, we're still in the duty. What have you to say? Only NPCs that you go through with a dungeon or a trial. I have some speech bubbles to say, but I guess these guys aren't important enough for that. At least not in this instance. This staff is pretty nice. Ah, there you are, Komori. Come rest a while. You'll have no better opportunity. After witnessing their god's ignominious defeat, the Amalja will be less inclined to risk our wrath. For a time, at least. Now, where were we? Ah yes, I was in the process of apologizing. I do hope you can forgive me. I arrived too late to be of any use, to you or the abductees. They may be whole of body, but the same cannot be said of their minds. For once a man is tempered... but it ill suits me to dwell on the negatives. Amidst all our misfortunes, there is still reason to rejoice. Ifrit is slain, by your hand no less. That is the deed of no ordinary individual, Komori. Not that I ever thought you were ordinary. On the contrary, I have long suspected that you have the potential to shape the fate of this realm. What can I say? My fine eye for talent remains undimmed. Minfilia will be proud beyond all reckoning when she hears of your deeds. I trust you shan't object to my bearing the tidings to her. That way I can claim to have contributed something to this mission. You, meanwhile, have earned yourself a rest. Take some time to relax, and return to the waking sands when you are good and ready. We can discuss matters in more detail then. Just don't take too long, will you? The realm's problems won't solve themselves. Well, with no more quests in the area, we'll go ahead and head out. I wonder if they give you 40 tickets because you are directed to Vesper Bay 40 times throughout the realm Reborn. It seems like a kind of a generous number, or rather a specific amount. They could at least give her a name. Ah, the triumphant hero returns. Tancred told us the news upon his arrival. He is presently in the Solar, giving a full report to Lady Minfilia. You should join them at once. Lady Minfilia is most eager to see you. We should accept this as the tank, but the cutscene's about to play, so... My late arrival nearly cost Komori her life. I wasn't there when the Amalja took her prisoner, and I wasn't there when they served her to Ifrit. Yet by some miracle she survived, but that does not excuse the fact that she should never have had to face such dangers alone. I failed her utterly, just as I'm failing you all. What's done is done, Tancred. You can ill blame yourself for every... Komori, it is so good to see you again. Impeccable timing, my friend. I had just finished regaling Minfilia with your heroic exploits. Tancred has told me everything. You have done well to return to us. The perils you faced were undeniably great, yet a part of me believes that I had no cause to fear. And now we can put paid to our long investigation. As we suspected, the Amalja undertook both the robbery and the abductions, with the aim of summoning Ifrit, summoning their primal Ifrit. Nor is this tale limited to Ul'dah. Similar incidents have been rife in both Limsa Lominsa and Gridania of late. I dare say you've been curious as to how these crimes are linked to the primals. Permit me to explain. Having manifested in the physical realm, primals must consume aether if they are to maintain their presence here. And the stronger they become, the more aether they require. Now, aether exists throughout creation. It flows through all life and permeates the very air we breathe. Alas, this alone will not suffice to sustain the likes of Ifrit. Nay, he and his kind require a more concentrated source of aether, crystals. It is for this reason that the incidents involving crystals can often be traced back to a primal. Which leaves us with the why of the abductions. To understand this, you must first understand how primals are born. When all is well with the world, primals possess no physical form. Their essence is dispersed across the great river of ether. However, when the world is plunged into chaos, those who worship the primals cry out to their gods for deliverance from suffering. These cries serve as a beacon toward which a primal's essence is irresistibly drawn. It is this coming together, or etheric coalescence, which grants the being's physical form. Once born, the primal gains strength from its followers' worship. The more numerous and fervent they are, the more powerful their god becomes. But the primals are seldom satisfied with such reverence as their adherents freely give. And in order to gain more power, they do not scruple to create more followers. They do this by tempering mortals, a process to which you yourself were subjected. Yet even as Ifrit took your comrades in his thrall, you remained unaffected. This is thanks to the power you possess, the Echo. We know not the why of it, but those blessed with the Echo are immune to primal influence. It is as though a great power protects us. When you first came to us, I told you that the Echo would be instrumental in dealing with the primal threat. I trust you now begin to see why. The recent incidents all share a common trait: meticulous planning. Such elaborate designs are a new development, and one which fills me with an unshakable sense of foreboding. While I share your concern, my presiding feeling is one of relief at your safe return. The immortal flames assured me that they will deal with the aftermath, so you need not concern yourself with that. We may rest easy for a time. I suggest you take full advantage of the respite, Komori. You may be sure it won't be long. Once the people learn the identity of the hero who felled Ifrit, I fear you will have nary a moment to yourself. Whether she intended to or no, Minfilia neglected to tell you something I think would be best you heard from one of us. It concerns the tempered abductees who were rescued. I am sorry to report that all are to be put to death, the flames with whom you were imprisoned included. Needless to say, this information must not be made known to the public. I swear to you that we would not do this if there were any other recourse. But once a man is tempered, he is tempered for life. His very existence lends strength to the primal whom he cannot choose. but to worship. And so we Scions continue our fight, that no more innocents need be sacrificed. I hope that you will continue to stand with us, Komori. But I should be going. I must offer my apologies to the Flame General for the losses his people suffered. Till next time. Gods forgive me. How many more lives? Louis Soir would never have allowed this to happen. I have to do better. I have to be stronger. It's a shame about those tempered. Nothing you can do, I suppose. And the next quest is... Yes, let's go ahead with this. Until not so very long ago, you were but one of the many adventurers seeking to make their way in Eorzea. But for your character and courage, you were raised to the esteemed post of envoy. Thereafter you traveled the realm, aiding those in need without thought of reward, confirming to Thancred that the Scions would benefit from your aid. And no sooner had you joined us than you personally bested the primal Ifrit. You have achieved a great deal in a short time, and won fame in so doing. Alas, fame does not come without a price, as you will soon discover. We have guests, Komori. Or rather, you have guests. Beg pardons. Lady Minfilia, radiant as always. I am given to understand that the Scions of the Seventh Dawn have but recently welcomed a new hero into their midst. I am here on behalf of the Maelstrom, Grand Company of Limsa Lominsa, to offer said hero a place of honor within our ranks. As you can see, Komori, your recent exploits have garnered you the attentions of the Grand Companies of Eorzea. Each organization would have Ifrit's bane for its own. To this end, all three have sent officers to court you. They would not ordinarily go to such lengths to enlist a new recruit. That they have is evidence of their high regard for you. I find myself wondering how word of Komori's deeds spread so quickly. That the immortal flames should know of her triumph is to be expected. But what of the other Grand Companies? Your reputation precedes you, Mistress Moriko. 'Tis no ordinary woman who can face a primal and emerge the victor. The Order of the Twin Adder has need of valiant women such as you. Join your strengths to ours, friend, and together let us ensure that peace ever reigns over the 12th Wood. What a pleasure it is to finally meet you, Mistress Moriko. My comrades speak of you in most glowing terms. Why, even before you aided us against the Amalja and their dead primal, yours was already a respected name in Ul'dah. Our people know you and love you well. A woman of your talent belongs with the immortal flames. Join your strengths to ours, friend, and together let us secure a prosperous future for Ul'dah. The Admiral was not exaggerating when she said you have the look of a hero. Full often does she speak of you, friend. It is only natural that we should want you for the Maelstrom. Join your strengths to ours, and together let us see the grand vessel of Limsa to the shores of glory. Lady Minfilia. Very well. Though I am quite sure you need no reminding, mayhap a brief summary of the situation would help clarify your thoughts on this matter. As you know, the Grand Companies are all-encompassing organizations, empowered to call upon the martial, economic, and technological resources of their respective city-states in times of strife. There are presently 3 such organizations in Eorzea: the Maelstrom of Limsa, the Order of the Twin Adder of Gridania, and the Immortal Flames of Ul'dah. Serving a Grand Company means serving the nation to which it belongs. You will be charged with its defense, and tasked with advancing its cause. In return for your faithful service, you will be furnished with various rewards, some of which may well prove useful to you in your other endeavors. If you are agonizing over which of the Grand Companies best deserves your loyalty, be at ease. The commitment you make this day need not be permanent. Should you wish to shift your allegiance at a later date, you are entitled to do so, and yet I concede that it is no small choice you face. Though a thought occurs to me. You will of course recall that the 3 city-states are planning to hold remembrance services. Well, as part of the proceedings, I am given to understand that the leader of the Grand Company will deliver an address. Hearing these addresses ought to help you make an informed decision. What say you, my dear officers? A fine suggestion. You are wise as you are beautiful, my lady. Very well. Let Komori hear our leaders speak, then return here with her decision. We eagerly await your answer. I know full well that adventurers are by their nature a liberty-loving breed, and not best suited to the discipline of military service. But I strongly urge you to join a Grand Company nonetheless. While the promise of reward is enticing in itself, it is not the only benefit. You are possessed of great power, Komori, and with it you are capable of doing untold good. Yet know that great power is wont to attract attention, not all of it friendly. There will be those who wish you ill, and you must needs be on the lookout for them. Yet however vigilant you are but one woman. In the midst of a Grand Company, however, you will be one woman amongst many, a friend amongst friends. Your achievements will be shared, and so will the danger. I can think of no better arrangement. Of course, joining one organization need not mean leaving another. I hope that we can continue to rely upon your aid. The 12 know that we will have need of it in the days ahead. The Grand Companies seek to protect their own nations. We Scions, on the other hand, seek to preserve the future of Eorzea as a whole. Similar, yet not quite the same. Now then, I expect that you will be afield more often in the future. As such, I would have you carry this link pearl with you at all times. It will allow us to stay in touch regardless of location. Eorzea is changing, Komori, and you have the power to help shape it anew. None can say what the morrow will bring, but so long as we believe in ourselves, there is naught we cannot achieve. Now it is time you made ready for your journey. Before you depart, be sure to speak with Tataru. She will apprise you as to where and when the remembrance services are due to take place. Well, that was a rather long-winded introduction to the Grand Companies, or something that is rather outdated, if I can say that. I believe it was a kind of, you could say, PvP, kind of faction choosing thing in the game, where players would choose one or the other, but the only way it survives in the present time, I believe, is that there are certain multiplayer functions that pit you against one another as one of these three factions. I don't really know if those three factions have a kind of skewed side which is winning against the others, but it really doesn't matter who you choose. There are certain rewards that you can get from these people, but those rewards are pretty much limited to level 50 and below, I would say, besides certain glamour items. I would say this was a kind of endgame thing for A Realm Reborn, but beyond that, these were kind of shoved to the wayside. I won't really stress too much about picking one faction above the other. Let's just find a place to settle down for a little bit. And having said that now, it seems like the NPCs have finally moved around. I like this room. This room changes over the course of time, but it's always a good place to take a break in.